Right, everybody, welcome back to another Talks with Finthentic. With us today is Yanis Pavlou from Aiden Technologies.
Nice to see you guys.
Thank you for coming. Obviously, Andres, my business associate, with us on every Talks with Finthentic. What we want to do today is chat with Yanis, who is from Aieden Technologies, and they do something that, frankly, I think is infinitely interesting, especially if you're a trader yourself. So with that, Yanis, tell us a little bit about Aiden Technologies. What do you guys do exactly?
Sure, great, thanks Alex. So Aiden Technologies is a company that I started with my partner, Panayotis Haralambous, about 2 years ago. I was working for 21 years in the tech sector, in the US high-tech multinational sector. Very passionate about technology, very passionate about products, and I was a trader individually. And I had just this belief that there's a way to do systematic automated trading that's better than what's out there today, especially in terms of wealth management available options. And I wanted to really explore that technology. I got that opportunity when I left the company I was working for, had a little bit of a buffer payment, and I started to explore building this company to build trading systems. And so with this partner, my partner's a PhD, we just dug into the research for different trading system approaches, how people develop them, what some of the best practices are, and we started working with the cTrader platform developing trading systems.
Amazing. So you came to it as a trader, kind of with skin in the game.
Yes, as an engineer who never practiced real engineering but worked on the product and commercial side, as a techie, as a trader, kind of combining those things and the commercial piece to fill what we believe is a bit of a gap in the marketplace. Not enough research goes into really high quality trading systems.
Yeah. On that, Andres and I were actually discussing, trading systems themselves, and actually there's a lot of things that go into developing a trading system. So I understand people come to you with a request, we want to develop this indicator, or we want to develop this kind of strategy, and it usually, in their mind, it's very simple. But how do you get from that to an actual finished and polished product?
Sure. Most of the custom development, so not our own systems that we develop for either broker use or trader use, most of the custom systems that we build on design for a customer, we work on with a partner called ClickAlgo, and they have a very kind of formal process where there's a document. Paul Hayes,
very well respected in the cTrader community.
He's like the master, he's the de facto store for these types of things. And he's got a really sophisticated process by which there's a spec document. You ask the individual to fill in the spec document, you give them an example, and that way you're kind of ensured that you work with the customer to get a pretty detailed spec. In the absence of that, it gets a bit more difficult if there's not a clear idea, or you iterate with the customer until you get that detailed spec. But we try to have a little bit of almost like a factory approach to that part of the development, just to be aligned with the customer on the spec and work to a certain.
And there is, obviously it takes a couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of months to get from A to Z.
Yeah, it depends on the scope. There's customers that come in through that process, and they have a very sophisticated idea of what they want. And then sometimes when we do a scoping and we understand it's going to be pretty expensive, we'll work with the customer and educate them. Are you sure all these features are necessary? Because they're hard to do. And maybe we'll feature reduce it, and then it'll be what the customer really will get value of. But then the scope of the project can be from a few hours, because it's a simple indicator that exists on TradingView or MT4 ported to cTrader, or it might be a pretty sophisticated kind of overlay on cTrader, combining a lot of different things, and that can take tens of hours or even
work in progress.
Many tens of hours.
Yeah, something on very important, I think, for viewers to know is the modus operandi of a client. For example, let's say, because you said sophisticated, I'm guessing they're non-sophisticated also clients. So what would you say would be like on the sophisticated end, the modus operandi, and the unsophisticated? So they know like how to approach
Sure, and that's actually a good segue also to our vision and business model approach, because we have this custom development that comes through the partnership with ClickAlgo. That custom development means the customer is pretty sophisticated, knows what they want, and they just want it coded. So they're sophisticated in terms of trading and what they want to aid their trading. They're unsophisticated in terms of programming, so we provide that
They
service.
can write in an email, I want this.
They can write in an email. You've got then our business-to-business broker service, where we have about 20 systems. We want to expand to 100 systems that are running 24/7 on a VPS, upon which we'll layer a broker-specific robots as a service. And that's for totally unsophisticated clients, where the broker wants to bring in clients, get them trading, but in an automated strategy that just runs and just works, so they get encouraged and kind of build their confidence in trading. And then, of course, our ultimate goal is to use all this experience and build some high quality multi-asset, multi-portfolio strategies that run through copy trading. And that again will be for a combination of either a sophisticated client that wants to run an automated strategy and they'll dig in a little bit about how it works, or it might be a totally unsophisticated client because they just want to press a button and it just works. I think that's kind of how we approach the market. The key is we try to do research, stay up to date, understand what's happening in the trading strategy space, in signal processing and machine learning for trading.
Yeah, I like what your business associate said. We recently had a call and he said there's basically three kinds of traders, right? There's the trader that wants to have everything automated. There's the trader that wants to have some of it automated. And then there's a trader that wants absolutely, they want to take the profit, right? But you find different levels of automation or signals or what have you. But I believe on some level, the future for all traders is kind of to be a bionic trader. So what I mean by this, myself, I'm a manual trader, but I believe in having a system that gives me, based on my metrics, based on my data, based on my research, it gives me exactly what I want to then execute. So with this being said, you know, the three kinds of traders there are, and if we go to the most sophisticated and fully automated trader, something that comes up very often, especially these days with chats, GPT, is AI. Where do you see AI and machine learning in terms of trading? You know, how do you guys envision, how do you picture, how do you place it?
Great question. It's an area that we're researching systems right now, and we haven't really released the commercial system, but we're working hard on it. So our vision is that the merger of the old technology, which is signal processing, otherwise known as technical analysis type approaches, and the new technology, which is machine learning, is going to be where there is a lot of value in the medium term. And what I mean by that is that a lot of the research that comes out on machine learning for trading is taking a machine learning type of neural network and applying it directly to trading, and there's some mixed results. Of course, there's quite a lot of success too, a lot of quantitative funds trading those strategies. We believe that if you augment machine learning system data with a lot of technical analysis pre-processed data, you can get a really great combination of the best of both worlds. So a really good trading strategy, for example, that uses some kind of momentum or trend or mean reversion type techniques, all of a sudden you can allow that to become more adaptable to market changes based on a machine learning neural network. So those are the types of things that we're exploring. We have a number of specific threads within that, but essentially we believe that you got to take the old technology that's tried and tested, you got to combine it with the new technology to get a really, really good hit rate and a good kind of differentiated point there.
I want to add on what you said, Jens, because we have seen in many social media outlets, like, I don't know if you noticed it yourself, AI had this type of percentage in profits, AI, this, you know, people tend to follow the trends. So I want to see how you see it. Is that something possible? We're talking about retail more.
Yeah, it's not really. I like that. First of all, I like that you said machine learning and not AI. AI is a bit of a buzzword, but beyond that, obviously, it's one thing kind of using it in your trading, it's another having it ready for retail to use.
Sure. I mean, my opinion doesn't vary that much on the machine learning side as on the rest of the retail tools or techniques or strategy side. So when you have an approach to something that provides signals as an indicator or a strategy, you have the idea, you go and you build it, and then you back test it. And if you back test it enough, it's going to have an amazing hit ratio. It's going to have an amazing win probability.
If you cherry pick enough.
And cherry pick or just keep layering filters onto it to make it fit that data better and better. And so the reality is that then when you take it live, it's going to have a different performance. And having a good understanding of what those two worlds look like, and how to transition from one world to the other world, and not overly focusing on the back test being the focus, but actually what's going to happen in live performance, I think is a key. So a lot of times when you see those statistics, even research, even academic research on machine learning for trading, the way they're trained to do the experiment is they take a certain data set and they kind of optimize for it, and they try the algorithm and they give the results. There's nothing false about that narrative. It's in the context of a pretty optimized on historical data type approach. And
would you agree, Yanis, that on CFD brokers though, the machine learning, let's say, would not be able to work? I mean, if you take in consideration the factors how a brokerage works, I mean, slippage, manipulation, the liquidity, the pricing, etc.
That's a really good question. You know, I'm still trying to work out the difference of trading, let's say, some of our strategies on a traditional CFD broker, which we do because of the tool availability and the data availability being so credible, versus, let's say, a more really large broker that's more direct to exchange, like somebody like Interactive Brokers. I'm still trying to work out whether all those different dynamics in the model of a CFD broker can allow a strategy to win and win consistently and over a significant amount of time. I believe if it's adaptive enough, the strategy is going to win, and assuming that you're not trading incredible vast sums of money, that you're dominating the actual feed of the
This is a big thing for CFDs. Yeah, this is a big thing. How would you say, so you mentioned Interactive Brokers, you mentioned you touched on how, FX CFDs, the platforms are quote unquote very good, very user friendly compared to even something that's amazing like Interactive Brokers or Trader Workstation. But it sounds like you have a lot of experience in trading. So how is it coming from like more traditional direct market access platforms to FX CFDs? What kind of realizations did you have between the two?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was interesting because that my partner came out of the CFD broker industry and the tools for that industry. So when I approached my partner, I hadn't really gotten exposed to CFD brokers. I was using Interactive Brokers and then trying to figure out how to get the tools to help me to do what I wanted to do. And then when I got exposed to the platform, cTrader as a platform, and the CFD brokers, I was amazed at the power available for free. Optimization, automated trading, click a button and you go live, data availability, tick level, 1 minute level, 1 hour. I mean, I was just blown away that that's available and it's free. You don't have to pay a data provider.
Or have I think Interactive used to be you had to have like a minimum 10K account or something like that.
That even if I take the minimum account, the power available to you and the data was incredible. But I came with this anxiety of the reputation, the legacy reputation of the CFD brokers. And my partner was trying to tell me, look, you have to understand you're living in a regulated ecosystem still of very large brokers with a reputation. So yes, there is that legacy. Yes, you have a business model that is contentious perhaps with a client interest at times, but it's gotta all work in aggregate to have a fair play mechanism. And I think I've gotten much more comfortable that you can operate with a CFD broker. Do you get higher costs than if you could do the same thing and have the same kind of tool availability as an Interactive Brokers? Yeah, you get higher costs. But can you have a mechanism to have a winning strategy, assuming you're not trading,
Massive
tens
size,
or hundreds of millions of dollars, I believe you can.
Okay.
But I've had to make that journey, and that's been a pretty slow journey for me, just because of the legacy and the reputation.
Yeah.
That was my personal journey, and I feel like my partner was guiding me along the way. He was like, yeah, something would happen. It might have been a bug in our system, and I would say, see, it's something to do with the data. and he'd like say, hey, no, that's not, that is a bug in the platform or the code.
And also you were in the United States where, FX CFDs, as we know it, it's banned, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So I think that's why Andres and I actually had the opposite experience, going from FX CFDs to direct market access and having different annoyances with that journey.
Yeah, like I said, I think the tools and the ease of use of the tools on the CFD broker side and these platforms available for even automated trading are pretty incredible on the...
Yes, especially something like cTrader. I mean, cCopy is a phenomenal tool. The backtesting is a phenomenal tool. Even the UI for what is a retail FX CFD platform is really good.
Yeah, it was a gradual journey for me.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Right, Andres, any last
yes,
quick fire?
a few actually. Aiden Technologies. I mean, first of all, where do you see yourselves? Because you're relatively not new in the market, but you're relatively new in the B2B business. Where do you see, like, in 1 year, 2 years, through the progress that you already had? That would be the first.
Sure. I mean, we are new to the market. We really started in really going live with any kind of offering to clients in October 2022. So we're very new. We do some consulting on the side that has helped to pay the bills before that, but we're pretty new to the market. Our vision is as follows. So we want to develop a large number of very useful indicators and tools and strategies that we will place on ClickAlgo that people can download as a license. Those are the tools and components that we use in our research to combine them together to build trading systems that run 24/7. We want to have, by the end of the year, ideally 100 or more trading systems that run 24/7. Those 100 trading systems we will customize for asset or time frame or specific needs of broker clients that we will then offer robots as a service. And from all that learning and experience, ultimately what we want to do is we want to end up, maybe it's a year or 2 or 3 years from now, with some highly advanced, highly competitive, highly differentiated trading systems for retail traders that want an automated copy strategy. That's ultimately where we want to go. And we want to do it, following the regulatory path that we need to follow. We need to do it with the right partnerships. But that's ultimately our vision. We want to be fairly open to the community, and so we're going to share the components that we use. We'll still retain a lot of knowledge of how to combine those components to build trading systems. We want to build up and expand our portfolio of VPS systems that run 24/7. Want to use those as a basis for robots as a service offering, and ultimately come up with some very, very high quality, differentiated wealth management, differentiated type of copy trading strategies.
Being relatively new in the type of a startup, and basically your product is something new, we haven't heard many. I mean, I wouldn't be able to say
not on this level. No, I think,
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do this kind of on a more hobbyist level. Like, I'll develop. I'm a developer. I'll develop indicators for other traders. But on a high level, so especially you said some of your clients are brokers. This, and especially for cTrader, this is something that, it's not that developed in terms of competition as such. Yeah,
so we use cTrader because we have so much power and so much knowledge and understanding now, especially through Panayiotis, my partner on this platform. But for some of this broker robots as a service, we need to use a copy switching technology to be able to port. That'll depend on the broker's infrastructure and what they need. But what we're finding is that, and we actually fully support the idea of open multi-broker ecosystem.
Agnostic.
Yeah. But there's some brokers that want to have a little bit of their own kind of exclusive mini ecosystem to kind of, that's very differentiated to them, and it gets their customers that are coming to them kind of starting to trade and starting to learn about trading.
Yanis, because you mentioned cTrader, is a possibility perhaps expanding to different platforms. The reason I'm saying this, I'm sure you heard what happened with metacodes and application with iOS and etc. And we have seen recently a huge demand in other trading platforms. I mean, would you consider moving to a different platform? I'm sure you don't want to stay in one market segmentation.
Sure. I mean, I think we are techies, so we understand the cost of porting or trying to support multi-platforms. We're very limited resource-wise, so we will keep in the direction we are until we can. The way we've approached it for now is we use some trade copying technology to be able to run our master accounts on a cTrader master account, and then get that copied over to some other technology if the customer demands it. We'll keep trying to use that approach. If at some point we need to port platforms because there's just no way, that's where the market forces us to go, we'll do that, but we're fairly careful because you get a lot of leverage from a platform and an ecosystem, and we don't want to lose that leverage, and it's very easy for you to fragment yourself that way. But yes, obviously the market will create demands on us. From a certain perspective, our systems and indicators, they're just code that run some mathematics, and it should be portable, but I don't underestimate what it takes to switch or to try to support multi.
I perfectly agree with you, and just to add, the reason I'm asking is because we have noticed that MT4 and MT5 have many plugins, and cTrader, basically we don't hear many plugins on cTrader, and we can see through our operations that is a problem.
So but there aren't any plugins. There's no way to add plugins.
So that makes it a bit difficult for, let's say, on the operational side to use.
Yeah, purely from a dealing perspective. I mean, each platform has its pros and cons, but yeah, we see the value in cTrader, and obviously with the Metaquotes fiasco, you guys as cTrader specialists, you're caught on the right side of that trade.
Yeah, and again, we have a broker client that we've had to use this copy technology to transfer to their MT4 masters, and it works well. So for now, we're able to support those two very dominant platforms, but still keeping 100% of our workflow, our expertise on optimizing and testing and validating systems on cTrader. There could be a situation in the future that forces us
to change
out of that position. We're going to hang on as much as we can because, again, having been in a technology industry, I understand the cost of trying to switch platforms or support multiple ones, and we just don't have the resource capacity to do that. That resource capacity would be at the expense of releasing trading systems or indicators or tools.
Yeah,
so
human hours.
it doesn't make sense right now. Someday in the future, could we be forced to?
Perhaps.
Potentially.
But as long as you can execute on, the two large ecosystems, so Metaquotes and cTrader, because whatever other platforms out there, while there's nice platforms, from a front-end perspective, it's single-digit market share at best, so I guess you're covered. Any final round? No,
I'm covered.
Right, Yanis, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for inviting me, guys. Great
that
chat.
was interesting. It's nice to hear kind of a different take. You're not a broker, you're not an LP, you're not a bridge. You're kind of a special part of the ecosystem, and we'd very much like to see this grow and add value for brokers, add value for traders. Hopefully you'll join us again sometime.
And also we're going to leave your contact details on the link after. So
yeah, we'll tag you, we'll add your website. Anybody wants to talk about developing trading systems, developing indicators, have a chat with Yanis. They are frankly the best in the business. Highly recommend it.